All right, so first couple steps. I forgot to mention right off the bat, if you're going to be doing the rotors in addition with the brakes, you have to make sure that your emergency brake is not engaged. The reason being is the electronic emergency brake on this car has two kind of circular looking brakes that pinch down on the inside of the rotor. And if that's not on, you're not going to get the rotor off at all. So make sure that's off. Make sure you use whatever equipment you want to use to stabilize the vehicle so it doesn't roll. I've already got the jack under the car here. And I don't know if you can see the jack points in the car. They're these square pieces of metal that you can put it right up inside. And I'm using the manufacturer's jack. I've already loosened the lug nuts. I'm about to take them off the rest of the way. I did forget to mention as well that these rotors from R1 Concepts, all four rotors and brakes ran me about $440 after tax. I used a coupon code and I think I got it down to like $398. So extremely cheap in comparison to what people are paying at the dealer. All five lug nuts completely removed from the tire, as you can see now. This has been the case for all four of my wheels, but you can see there's no play. I still can't remove the tire. I was kind of confused at first. I thought maybe there was an extra nut underneath the cap. It's not. It's just stuck on there. And like I said, I don't park this outside. This sits inside the garage all the time. So I really don't know why the tire's stuck, but I will show you how to easily remove it. Set this up real quick. Basically what I'll do is come over here. I'm underneath the vehicle, just slightly. You gotta be very careful considering that it's not an emergency brake on there. So I'm gonna give it a quick kick behind the tire. As you can see, the tire has come off now, so we'll go ahead and take it out and remove it. Okay, so here is the rotor. You can obviously see why I'm replacing it. There's some pretty deep grooving going outside the rotor. It's really unfortunate because the brake pads that I took off the other wheels were practically brand new, but they have the groove marks inside of it, so they're kind of useless now, and the pads need to be replaced as well. You can see that's the case with these pads as well. I don't know if you can really see with the lighting, but a lot of life left on them. But since the grooving is on there, I'm gonna have to replace the pads as well so they don't groove the new rotor. The first thing to do, there's these pins. Let's see if you can see them. I'll bring them over here. These two silver pins, one on the top, one at the bottom. Basically, they just need to be knocked back. And you can see the shim's holding it in place. So once you kind of get it moved back a little bit, you'll push down on the shim, and it'll allow you to freely move that pin all the way out, and then just do the same with the bottom one. So I'll go ahead and do that real quick. I forgot to mention in your tool set you're going to need something to put against this to knock it out. So you could use a screw, honestly, or anything just narrow that's going to be able to fit through that hole and knock the pins back. Okay. Knock these pins out. So as you can see, the pin's knocked back just behind or just inside of the first brake pad. So if I can hold this, but set this. If I hold this thing back right here, the shim, and I pull at the same time, this will come out a lot easier. As you see, the pins and the shim is out. It's sitting right there. I'm going to clean them off. I'm also going to clean off the calipers themselves. If you pay for these nice, pretty red calipers, I think it's important to keep them nice. So I have some 70% isopropyl alcohol spray. I'm just going to spray it onto the rag, not directly onto the rotor itself, and just give it a quick wipe down. I've already removed the pins here and here. Also, there's this bolt. This is what it looks like right here. That slid through the front, and it's a nut that you have to. Oops. It's a nut that you have to unscrew from the back on this side, and it is a 13mm nut. You can just knock it off with a socket wrench. Once you have that removed, you have access to the brakes, the pads themselves. Then to actually remove the entire caliper, you're going to need a hex bolt. There's one here and one here. The two hex bolts there, and here they are. Not really sure what size this is. Trying to read it on here. It says HW10. Not sure if that's the actual size of this hex, but that's the part or the tool you're going to need to take those off. Now this should just slide right off. Set this up quick. There they go. Pads and all. Okay. Definitely don't want to bend this too much because it's kind of sitting on a metal cable, so I'm going to box to set this on. Alright, so there you go. You have access to the rotor. As you can see, you have a small Allen wrench that needs to be loosened there. And once you take that off, you'll have access to the rotor. And I'll get right to that. Got the hex, or the Allen wrench. Go ahead and remove that. It's the one piece that you need that secures this into place. As you see, it turns left to right. Still doesn't want to come off, so I'm probably going to have to hit it with a hammer to loosen up just some of the rust on the inside. So I'm going to do that. Grab my hammer. Okay, after a few hammer strikes, loosen up the rust on the inside of the part right here. It slid right off, so I'm gonna take that and set it off to the side. All right. Grab my new rotor here. Put this up. Spin it to align these holes. Okay. Line there. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my Allen, put that right back inside. Get that screwed down. It's nice and secured, as you can see. New rotor's on. It's as simple as that. I'm going to go ahead and depress the pistons on the caliper itself. I'm going to slide in these new brake pads and then just reattach, do everything in reverse, reattach the caliper and put back on the tire. And it's pretty simple to change your own rotors. Hey guys, I just wanted to show you something real quick. I've already got the pins pushed out on this front brake. On the front and the rear of the the driver's side of the car, there are sensors. Basically, it's really easy. I'll take it off there and just kind of see this little mechanism. You just kind of push it up, pops right out. Super simple. This is the one that's connected to the brake pad. Like I said, the new brake pads that I got have the sensor for each side, so I'll go ahead and connect those. How's it going, guys? Hey, I'm just changing the brakes and the rotors on my 2016 Maserati Ghibli S. I figured I'd make a short video just to just kind of show how to get these pieces off. If you do have the Maserati, the Brembo brakes, first of all, when you get the tire off, if you look here, there's 2 pins that you need to punch out. Let's see if I can grab them for you. Basically look like this. They come in, they're gonna go through the back, and this end sits right here. So you just knock them all the way back. You might need pliers to pull them out from the back. Next, there is the shim that's holding in the brake pads. They'll be sitting on this side. You're just gonna pop that off. And then lastly, you might need to wiggle the brakes a little bit, but you should be able to pull the brake pads completely out at that point. If you look in the back, if you're replacing your rotors as well, there is 2 15mm bolts that sit in the back of the caliper. I don't know if I can get back here. You can see one right here that I have loosened, I'm about to take out. And then I have the other one already out, if you could see it. It was sitting down here at the bottom of the caliper. Once you take those 2 bolts out, you should be able to slide the brake pads or the rotor off itself. Also, remember to disconnect your sensor from your brake pads. It's an easy, just little harness that you pop loose and just kind of get it out of the way.